Good shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R7 Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Well, despite having one of the youngest squads in the OJHL, the Wellington Dukes continue to roll. Stouffville was their latest victim. More on that coming up in just a second. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. On the show today, Georgetown Raiders assistant GM Chris Vanstone is going to join me via Skype to talk about the defending Buckland Cup champs and how things have gone so far this year. Also, Markham has been right in the thick of the battle for first place in the North. And we're going to take a closer look at the Royals in this week's team report. But first, OJ highlights, and it's amazing what new head coach Scott McCrory has done in such a short time with the Wellington Dukes and with such a young squad too. The Dukes have shot to the top of the East Division standings, and they flexed their muscles once again last Saturday against Stouffville. OJ highlights now brought to you by Cool Sports, official apparel provider to the OJHL.
The Dukes with the best record in the entire Northeast Conference, but it's the Spirit they draw first blood. 4 minutes in, Tyler Kolba out front. Stouffville goes up 1-0. Nathan Torchia under fire all game, but doing his part. Top 5 nominee right there. Huge stop on Jackson Arcan. Soon after, though, Colin Doyle all alone at the side of the net here. Not even an afterthought for the Spirit, and he makes him pay. All tied up at 1 apiece. Second frame, Wellington just killed them. Penn State bound Mason Snell somehow sneaks it past Torchia, and the Dukes go up by a 2-1 count. 6 minutes later, Torchia making the initial stop here. Nelson Powers jams home the second chance. Wellington pads its lead to 3-1. Then another top 5 nominee. Look at the passing here by the Dukes. Tic-tac-toe. No chance for Torchia. Wellington cruising up 4-1. The Spirits managed to cut that deficit in half, though. Bo Binney with the quick trigger here. And the Dukes' lead is cut to 4-2. Third frame now. Torchia continues to shine for the home squad as he sprawls to rob Colin Doyle. It kept it within reach, but that's as close as the Spirit would get. As the Dukes continue to impress, they take it 4-2. North York in Georgetown to take on the Raiders last Saturday, and G-Town were sleepwalking through the first 40 minutes of this one. Justin Tucker pokes home the second chance to give the Rangers the early lead. Super Mario, the story in this game for Georgetown, top 5 nominee all the way. Cavallari flashing the leather to deny Ross Krieger from in close. Third period now, Raiders still trailing, net empty, 29 seconds remaining. Court is in session. Andrew Court saving the day for Georgetown, sending this one to overtime. Take it away, Alan Corkum.
Crocker has the puck. Over to Jason Smith. Here goes Smith walking in. Smith makes a move, he scores! Oh, what a goal to end it! Jason Smith wins the game for the Raiders! The Raiders win!
As mentioned, they looked horrible over the first 40 minutes, but they got it together just in time for the 2-1 OT victory. Yeah, the team Georgetown is chasing for first in the Southwest. Oakville in Toronto to take on the Patriots, and this will undoubtedly make our end-of-the-year bloopers. Oops! Tyler Fassel, so good all year in net for the Pats. Hey, it happens to the best of them, Tyler. He shakes it off. The Pats come close to equalizing. Michael Bushi doorstep. Zach Bremwell, the forward, playing goalie. Nice save. Third period, Oakville adds extra insurance. Bailey Newton, backdoor pass to Peyton Reeves on the power play. Sweet pass, and the Blades manage to keep some breathing room between themselves and the rest of the pack on top of the Southwest Conference. Orangeville taking on the Hurricanes in Newmarket. Scoreless into the second, the Flyers strike first, and it's the Gooch. Nathan Gooch, sweep wraparound to give them the lead. Late in the frame, though, the Grecian assassin, Dimitri Mikrogiannikis, Scores! Nice feed from Owen Ramsey, and it's 1-1. And then this will make both the blooper reel and the highlight reel. Fraser Kirk giveth and taketh away. Gets down just in time to totally redeem himself. Third period. The blooper show continues. Eric Donor losing sight of it, puts it into his own net. 2-1 Canes. Then take it away, Anthony Regan.
Goose wins that. Lifts the stick on the doorstep. There it is! Tie game, and Orangeville's fans go crackers here.
Hey, you gotta love it when the fans go crackers. The Canes ultimately pull it out, though. Owen Ramsey just throwing it at the net. It was that kind of game, some really weird ones, and that was the winner. Newmarket continues to hold on to first in the North with the 3-2 win. Okay, one more before the break. Markham and Aurora scoreless until the second. Braden Aubin to Alessio Luciani, and the Royals are out to the 1-0 lead. And then El Capitan Lucas Condada shows you what UMass Lowell is excited about for next year. He bangs it home to make it 2-0 Royals. In the third, the Tigers get one back. Tell us about it, Kevin Dean.
Wilkie's got Bricknell, 2 veteran. Wilkie in, shot, score! Oh, the Illinois native hammers it home. Does Wilkie.
Kevin Dean, one of the best commentators in the game. Unfortunately for the Cats, that wasn't enough as Markham holds on for the 2-1 win. OJ Trivia for this week. What NCAA D1 school is former Buzzers defenseman Mark Paolini currently playing for? He was a first-team All-Star in the OJ last year. First correct answer wins an OJ prize pack.
Welcome back to the OJ today. As promised, the Assistant General Manager for the Georgetown Raiders, Chris Vanstone, joining me via Skype. Chris, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks, Alex, for having me.
We would be having head coach Greg Walters on with you, but Wally, as we know, has not yet discovered how to turn on a computer. He's not a fan. So you're going to have to do due diligence today, but we're teasing, of course. Wally, the reigning coach of the year, but you're holding up the fort today. Talk about the team so far. I mean, great start for the guys, leading the West Division. That being said, not quite as dominant as they were last year. It's tough to top last season. But overall, just your impressions of the way the season's gone so far.
Well, I think we have a pretty strong club. We have a great defense core, an outstanding goalie, and obviously a number of forwards that really can put the puck in the net. So I think our balance is pretty good right now. I think we're always looking to tweak things here and there, but obviously looking to help us make a big run at it here. I think that one of the biggest differences I see in the league this year is a ton of parity in the West as well as in the Central Division, where we play them 4 times a year. So you have a lot of clubs beating each other every night. Anybody can win. And you really got to be on your game every night to get 2 points.
Yeah, you mentioned excellent goaltending. Of course, last year the duo of Latinovich and Astorino were just outstanding, leading them to the Buckland Cup. And both goalies actually earning NCAA Division I scholarships, so they're gone this year. Walters goes out, and I mean, he gets one of the best goalies in the league, Mario Cavalieri, who's been outstanding so far. Talk about Mario and the solidity that he's brought to this team.
Yeah, we're lucky. I think Greg and myself realized what Mario could do in this league and how important he would be to our team, starting with 8 returning players. So, you know, we obviously didn't start from scratch, but with only having 8 guys coming back and no goaltenders, as you said, we need to get someone that we could have confidence in to hold the fort at times when maybe some of our younger guys were getting their feet wet and we were getting used to playing with a whole different lineup.
Right. You lose a huge part of the scoring from last year in OJHL MVP Jack Jacome, who was just outstanding. Of course, he moved on to Clarkson University this year, averaging a point per game as an 18-year-old freshman, which is pretty phenomenal right now. But you bring in a couple of guys who've really helped out. One of those guys, Jason Smith, who's got major junior experience. He's a leading scorer on the team right now. Plays with a bit of an edge as well, which I know Wally likes, of course, and I think you do too, as long as he stays out of the box, of course. But talk about Smitty and what he's brought.
Well, first off, we would love to have had Jack come back. I mean, the opportunity was open for him, but we're really excited for himself and Dickinson and Latinovic, who played real well with Clarkson. We're proud of them, and they've done a great job as ex-Georgetown Raiders. And we'll hopefully move some more on to Clarkson in the future. But Smitty's a gritty guy. He's got some offensive ability. He's got some OHL experience. He's a good leader in the room. He leads by example. Greg is a huge fan of smaller skilled forwards like Jack was, and Smitty's kind of filling that role for us right now. He's got great hands. He's very patient around the net, and we're putting him with some players that he can, really play with. He plays a lot with Jordan Crocker, who I think they work well together, and they're very close friends.
All right, Jonathan Hampton was a guy who had a huge playoff for the Raiders last year. He was the leading scorer for you guys for the first month of the season. Then he had a bout with mono and missed a bit of time there. But he's come back, and of course, he's a great leader as well as a great scorer. Talk about Hampton.
Hamp's probably every day of practice is our hardest working player. He's big and strong. He's physical. He's got offensive ability. He skates real hard. He never takes a shift off. Unfortunately, he did have a bit of a bout of mono, but he's coming back from that, and he scored in his first game after he came off of that illness. And we're expecting great things from him this year.
On defense, you went and picked up Andrew Corson-David, who can just fly. He's a great defenseman. He's definitely got an offensive touch as well. One of the fastest D-men in the league for sure. And you guys actually plugged him in at forward a couple times when you had a bit of a shortage. And he didn't miss a beat, picking up a few goals there as well. Just talk about Corson-David and what he's brought to the team.
Well, first off, you notice his size and his skating ability. He's a big kid at 6'5", 6'6", and he can really move. So anybody you get who's like that, you can work with. And he's got some offensive ability for a big guy. He likes to move the puck up ice, likes to get up ice as a defenseman. Fortunate for us, we were able to plug him in on forward. Scored had 4 goals in 5 games for us.
Not bad.
And yeah, exactly. So and again, an ex-major junior player who gives us a lot of experience and some leadership, and we're lucky to pick him up in a trade this year from Trenton.
Right. One of the guys that Wally really likes to talk about, because he feels he's possibly come the furthest over the last 3 seasons, Jake Payette, 6'8", and it's got to be tough being that size and still being a teenager and learning your body and being that size. And I remember Jake 3 years ago and seeing the lack of mobility. He has come a long, long way over the last 3 seasons. And I know Wally says he's one of the most improved players out there probably. Just talk about Jake and his role as a defenseman and how he's come along.
For sure. I think, as you said, being 6'8", it takes a while for you to grow into your body and really understand exactly how it moves and what you can do out there. And being his 3rd year in the league, he's really become a coach for us. And Greg will tell you straight up that Jacob could coach our team. He's really, really smart on the ice, makes great plays. And even though he's at 6'8", still can move around on the ice pretty good. Long stick, great reach, good in his own end, and a really good leader. As I said, he's one of the smartest guys on our team. Yeah,
and they're lucky he's not opposition is lucky he's not a bit meaner than he is. I'm sure Wally wouldn't mind just a touch more edge there to his game because he's got such great size. But he's a great kid and he's doing a fantastic job. You know what? You're doing a great job too, buddy. Assistant GM with the Raiders. And it's going to be really interesting to see what you guys do down the stretch as the trade deadline approaches and such and before Christmas. But listen, thanks for joining us on the show, and we'll see you out there at the rink.
Appreciate it, Alex. See you soon.
Okay, thanks, Chris. We're OJ Today. Coming up in just a second. Hey, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, the goalies for the Lindsay Muskies have seen more rubber than the 401 over the last month. The Fish have been under fire. Heading into their game against Burlington last week, they'd lost 9 straight, and in their previous 5 contests had allowed 45 goals. So they were desperate to break out of that slump as they hosted the Cougars Friday night.
And once again, the Fish had trouble keeping the puck out of the net. First period, the puck takes a wicked deflection past to Blake Curran. 1-0 Cougars. Soon after, call it Joe Montezano.
Now the pulling tip, good save, rebound, oh my! What a big save by Curran!
post to post in a jiffy.
What a save. Definite top 5 nominee. Second frame, Blair Jendenov to Josiah DeGazin. Perfectly executed 2-on-1. It's 2-0 Cougars. 3 minutes later, Cats power play. Another weird deflection right past Curran. 3-0 Burlington. Third period, though, the Fish fight back.
And it's off the boards, and a 2-on-1. And in front shot, score! No!
I think Joe Montezano likes his Red Bull. Lots of energy. But the Cougars pull away. Marek Wozni makes it 4-1 Burlington. Then 2-on-1, it's Wozni with his second of the game. Burlington running away with it. It's 5-1. Then keep your eye on the left side of the screen here.
Bill! What a hit! Jake Dale got hit hard!
Deaglin's small, massive hit on Jake Dale. The Muskies would add one more as Cameron Saprika gets his first ever OJHL goal. Not enough, though, as Burlington cruises to the 5-2 win over the Fish. Whitby travels to Markham to take on the Royals. First frame, Brandon Bastasin. Consider your pockets picked, as he doesn't see Jason Stashoback coming, and oops, in it goes. 1-0 for Whitby. Markham gets it back, though, on the power play. Braden Aubin, and waiting for it here on the left side, and then pow, he tattoos it past Nate McDonald. The horn blares, and it's all tied up at 1 apiece. The boys were throwing the body around. Devin Mejia takes his man for a ride, and then as the play continues, Bane Cunningham hammers Shane Bull right there, but he actually gets a 2 and a 10 for head contact. And Whitby says, "You want to play rough? Let's go." Noah Bull gets revenge for his brother Shane by smashing Aubin with a beauty hit. Old-time hockey. Gotta love it. Second period, Nick Junta, quick on the draw, smacks it past Nate McDonald to give Markham the lead. Third period, a bit of insurance. Top 5 nominee here. Beautiful passing. Kandata, Odekirk, Jeffers for the finish. Tic-tac-toe, one of the top lines in the league. Clicks again. Markham manages to stave off Whitby the rest of the way. Jeffers stopped by after the game with his thoughts.
Feels good. They're a little bit under us in the standings, but we got to play our game, not worry about where they are. They're a good team. They can make plays. If we give them a chance, they'll take the best of it. So for us to string 3 in a row there, that was good for sure. And we'll hopefully keep this running, get 4, 5, 6, and get on a bit of a roll here.
Well, lose a game in the South Division right now, and you could easily just fall right off the pace, while first place Oakville is starting to put a bit of distance between itself and its pursuers. Currently, the battle is on for second. Just 2 points separated the Patriots and Junior Canadians last weekend as they met up at Scotiabank Pond.
Both these teams trying to keep pace with Oakville in the South. Pats draw first blood, Lee Lapid, clear path to the net, bingo. And it's 1-0 Patriots. The JRCs finished the period strong, though. Anthony Paveglio just throws it at the net. Somehow it finds its way through, and it's even Steven at 1 apiece. And then the 2-on-1 executed to perfection. Vernace to the Cesare. 2-1 Canadien. Third frame, though, all Patriots. Evan Benwell to Lapid for his second of the game. And it's all tied up 2-2. And they were just getting going. Dalton Ewing has been a stud all year for the Canadians. Not so much in this game, though. Andrew Petrucci finds a hole to make it 3-2. And then on the power play, Nicholas Kalpuzis, Roof Daddy from the point. They doubled their lead to 4-2. And then again with the man advantage, Benwell shot, squeezes past Ewing, and it's 5-2 Patriots. And then finally Petrucci with the top 5 nominee. Sweet solo effort. One of the better backhands we've seen all year as the Pats make a statement as they cruise to the 6-2 win over the Junior Habs. But the Canadians had a chance to bounce back the next day against Buffalo, and bounce back they did. First period, Jake Joffe knocks it in. Junior Habs up 1-0. Second period, they add to it. Mathieu de Cesare just turns and fires it home. 2-0 for Toronto. But the Sabres, to their credit, they make a game of it, follow the bouncing puck here. Ultimately, it's Nick Alfieri who pokes it in, and They cut the deficit to 1, and then Ethan Kurbis looks like his shot may have been deflected slightly. It's in, and it's tied up. Third period, take it away, Jaron Kligman.
Slashes him. McBain still with it. Sends it across. Joffe with it. Joffe will send it. Right in the net. Scores! Oh, baby! That was what you call crisp.
As crisp it was. OJ standings, North Division, Newmarket in the lead, followed by Markham, Aurora, Pickering, Stouffville, and Lindsay. To the east, we had Wellington, 12-point bulge over Kingston, followed by Trenton, Cobourg, and Whitby in 5th place so far. South Division, Oakville with a 4-point lead. Three-way tie then following that with the Patriots, JRCs, and North York, all with 41 points. Then St. Mike's and Mississauga in 6th. And in the west, Georgetown, 11-point lead over 2nd place Buffalo, followed by the Flyers, the Cougars, and Milton with just a single win on the year so far.
Welcome back to the OJ Today. The Markham Royals looked like they were set up for a good playoff run last year. They had some top-notch talent and veteran leadership, and then along came Stouffville in the first round and threw a wrench into the proceedings as the 7th-seeded Spirit knocked off the Royals in 6 games. The boys in blue have regrouped and refocused this year. Mike Galati's troops are in the thick of the battle for first place in the North Division, and we take a closer look at what's been working in this week's team report, brought to you by Cliff Bar, the official energy bar and sports nutrition food of the OJHL.
A second straight North Division title last season had the Markham Royals feeling confident entering the playoffs. They were the 2nd seed in the Northeast Conference, and while giants such as Trenton and Cobourg awaited them later, they were expected to cruise past 7th-seeded Stouffville. That wasn't the case, however, as the Spirits pulled off the upset.
You know, all the boys were pumped to go, and we got upset by Stouffville. They played hard, and they came to play every game, and they beat us here in overtime, and then we deflated. Played hard, but they were relentless. They beat us for sure.
That's all in the past now. Despite losing some big talent from last year, such as Riley St. Onge and Lane McKay, the Royals have been one of the OJ's top teams this season. Currently, they're fighting tooth and nail with Aurora and Newmarket for division supremacy in the north.
It's working when we get 4 lines going. When we play hard, when we come out, when we make teams chase us, I think that's when we find we're most effective. And when we play to their style of game, that's when we find when we're on the other end of it. Sometimes, we just have a couple of mental breakdowns and it results in the back of our net. So we just got to tighten up and play good D and go from there.
I think we've been a little up and down here. We, lost a few key guys late in the summer, like St. Onge, Sermon, and McKay, and it was tough because it came so late in the summer. But we found our groove here a little bit, and guys are a year older and have taken over the roles.
It all starts with the captain, Lucas Kandata. The 5-year OJ veteran blends size, talent, and leadership, attributes that recently snagged him a D1 scholarship with UMass Lowell.
Not only a skilled kid, and he's a big body that does everything right in the dressing room, on the ice. He's one of those kids that coaches love to have. He listens well and does everything we ask. And he's been rewarded with a huge season and a huge commitment to a really good school.
He teams with uber-talented forward Jack Jeffers to form one of the best offensive duos in the league.
He's probably one of my best friends on the team. We carpool together, and he's been playing on my line, and we worked really well together. We played together in minor midget actually. He's a real good goal scorer, a real good player. He moves the puck really well, and it's been a treat having him here.
Head coach Mike Galati has been happy with the way numerous other key players have stepped up this year.
Yeah, Brett O'Kirk's been really good. He's taken a huge step forward here over last year. He's again, like Jack, has found some good chemistry with 2 guys, and He's using his speed, his skill. Braden Aubin, it's a big pickup for us this summer out of Dryden. Scored a lot of points in that league there, and is continuing on. He's got a hell of a shot. He works hard. He does all the little things that a lot of times your goal scorers don't do, like block shots. He's a guy that we use in the last 2 minutes when we're defending the lead as well. Johnny Prasicak's been a kid who's been here for 3 years now. He was back in Hamilton when we were there, and he's come a long way since I've had him there day one in Hamilton, and he's been steady. He's been one of our most steady guys back there, and he listens, he works hard, and he does all the little things that coaches like. So we're enjoying him as well.
In turn, Galati has earned the respect of his players as a tough yet fair head coach.
He's a great person and a great coach. I've loved having him. He works relentless hours. He's always watching video, getting us prepared. He's probably one of the hardest working coaches in the league.
The Royals know the path to the Buckland Cup won't be easy. There's very little separating the top teams in the conference this year, which means maintaining their focus and commitment down the stretch will be essential.
Sustain cycles, use our D, continue to be good in our D zone here. We've been pretty good here. Let's find another 60 minutes. Let's have another 30 points.
It's going to be tough. You get teams like Wellington in our way. Teams like Trenton's always good, but they may not be high in the standings, but they're real good. It's going to be a battle, and we just got to sit tight, get better as a team, practice, come hard, be professional, and be the best team that we can be, and hopefully that works out in the end.
Okay, before we go, the top 5 brought to you by Chaos, the official hat provider to the Ontario Junior Hockey League. At number 5, Burlington's Deaglan Small going big against Lindsay's Jake Dale. Massive open ice hit. Number 4, the Patriots' Andrew Petrucci steals and then goes roof daddy with the gorgeous backhander against the JRCs. Number 3, Lindsay's Blake Curran with a massive stop against the Cougars. Post to post in a jiffy, as Joe Montezano said. Great save. Goalies dominating the top 3. Number 2, Stouffville's Nathan Torchia going post to post as well to rob Wellington's Jackson Arcan. And number 1, another goalie, Super Mario Cavalieri of the Raiders with the insane glove hand against North York. That saved the day for Georgetown, and it's our Chaos Play of the Week.
And we've got to run all out of time for this week, but to keep up to date with the OJHL, all your news, stats, standings, and stories, just remember to head to ojhl.ca. And of course, you've got all your social media options to check out as well. Thank you for watching, folks. We'll see you next week.